Tonight, an update to a story we first broke back in February about $100 million worth of new technology meant to upgrade the courts across North Carolina. This after we learned the company behind those upgrades has a history of issues.
Yeah, the technology was supposed to launch in Mecklenburg and surrounding counties next month, but the launch in Raleigh has been so troublesome, it's now been delayed here, and we might all end up shelling out more money. In
tonight's Where's the Money, WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden went to Raleigh to find out what's going on.
Think this won't impact you? Think again. We're talking $100 million in taxpayer dollars, plus something as simple as a speeding ticket with this new technology is now a giant hassle.
This will do nothing but delay justice.
And pitfalls everywhere. And I don't mean to sound alarmist, but this is bad.
The wheels of justice are spinning slower than ever.
Oh, it's been a train wreck from the get-go.
The system frequently goes down, frequently stalls. We've just started calling it the wheel of death because you just watch the wheel spin.
We spent $100 million to engineer a paperless efficient system that uses more paper and is totally inefficient, and it just doesn't work.
It's called Odyssey, or eCourts, the new system meant to update and connect all of North Carolina's courts digitally. But it's been one heck of a journey since it launched in February in Wake, Harnett, Johnston, and Lee counties.
This is going to sound overly dramatic, but this is not a bump in the road. This is not resistance to change. This is not an adjustment period. It's a disaster.
Everything's grinding to a halt. They've shut down some of our criminal courts at the request of the clerk's office.
Parrish Daughtry is an attorney in rural Harnett County where it's been so bad they had no choice but to close courts for a week. And the planned May launch for Mecklenburg County has been delayed indefinitely.
Do you feel at this point that the way it's working in Wake County, could it work in Mecklenburg County?
No.
If they continue to roll this out, I think eventually the courts will just grind to a halt. Or you'll have something go wrong. Someone will get injured, someone will get killed because of a lack of knowledge. And at that point, people will say, hey, this is something we need to do. This is something we need to address.
These attorneys in the rollout communities are so upset they gathered to talk to us. They say danger could come from law enforcement officers no longer having access to information they need before making an arrest, or everyday citizens not being able to get domestic violence protective or child custody orders in a timely fashion.
If you have an order for custody of your children, an order for domestic violence protective order, or an order to get you out of jail, this is a true delay in justice in what we are doing now with this system.
What are some of the worst things you've seen so far?
Probably people who have been held in custody longer than they needed to be.
So your client literally sat in jail an extra 5 days because of a computer glitch?
That's correct.
This is still the United States. You're not supposed to be held in jail longer than you're supposed to be. That's a big deal.
Such a big deal when this same thing happened in other jurisdictions across the U.S. that also launched the Tyler technology software. Lawsuits followed, with taxpayers on the hook for millions.
There can and should likely be something of that nature in the future as we're talking about people's constitutional rights and liberties being infringed based off of computer glitches.
Another glitch, sensitive information wide open for anyone to see.
You may be able to see an incredible amount of personal information about someone else.
There have been social security numbers and date of birth, personal identifying information that's been visible on certain court forms that should be redacted, but it's definitely information that's out there that should not be out there.
Even if you have no interaction with the courts, a simple speeding ticket could turn into a nightmare.
I think driver's licenses are being revoked because things aren't being done promptly. Oh, the general public's definitely impacted at every stage of this process.
A spokesman for the administrator of the courts told us in an emailed statement, quote, to date, AOC and Tyler have resolved approximately 350 application defects. But these attorneys say even if all the current glitches get resolved, the new technology is just plain slower than the previous one. Because it's a cloud-based system, it requires more reliable Wi-Fi than most of the courthouses have, especially in smaller counties.
How much extra money do you think it's costing because of all these glitches?
Oh, I wouldn't even have any way of ascertaining that and guesstimating that. I can tell you that I'm aware that there have been, 7 additional servers that have had to been purchased to be able to adequately store the data that's being uploaded, and that's just after the 4 counties went live.
A spokesman for the Administrative Office of the Courts admitted the legislature had agreed to one-time funding for the rollout and that money is running out. The courts plan to request more money.
The cost is absolutely exorbitant, I'm sure.
It's a total waste of time. It is just a total fiasco.
So when will this technology finally make its way to Mecklenburg and surrounding counties? No one seems to know. It's a story we will continue to follow and bring you updates as we get them. Reporting in Raleigh, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
Definitely more follow to come. All right, well, for more details and a full look at Michelle's previous coverage of this court software, just go to WCNC.com/money and you'll find links to this story and others just like it.